guys, and welcome to your September collage sheet day. Thank you so much for joining me for yet another month. I know I sound like a broken record, but I am so super grateful that you've joined me for another month here on Patreon. Or if you're new, welcome, and thank you again for taking a chance on little old me and the little crazy nook that I've created here for the Inky tribe. Now, I get in trouble every month for overgiving, mainly from my husband because he sees me burn out every month, but I don't care because I totally think it's worth it. And I know you guys get so much joy over collage sheet day. I get so much joy watching them being transformed all over the internet into your journal pages, into your planner pages. It just makes me so giddy, and the hours and hours of work that it takes to do it is totally worth it. So without further ado, there are 14 sheets in the little old pink deer folder today. Yes, that's right, 14. But don't get way too excited. There's a few large print designs, so that's how I explain it to hubby when he's like, honey, 14's ridiculous. I said, yeah, but there's a couple of backgrounds and this and this and this. And he's like, no, nothing you say will make this okay. But it's all right. I have hubby contained. It's all good. So let me move my big chunky mama and my baby away, and let's get started, shall we? So, all right, camera decided to chuck a little bit of a tanty. So without further ado, let's get started. Take two. Okay, here we go. We have your smaller calendar, which I do every month, and I've got some mixed media tags that I have done backgrounds on for you to add your own things. I will obviously build mine up, the originals, because they're quite massive. They're about as big as an A4 sheet, so I sized them down so you didn't have to have humongous tags. This girl was spotted in the background of one of my videos, and there was like an outcry of, can we have her, can we have her? So she got whisked into the scanner for you guys. I have another little monster holding his journal. Now, there was meant to be a second one, but once I put everything together, he was too cute to have sized down to fit a little section, but too big to actually fit anywhere else, so I decided to leave him for next month. So if you remember the little jolly fat guy up in the corner of my Copic marker sketchbook, you will get him next month, because I didn't want to size him down because he's no wallflower. He's massive and he's adorable, and I couldn't put, my heart couldn't put him in the corner. It was like, baby, you know, nobody puts baby in the corner. That was his Dirty Dancing moment right there. I've got a beautiful graphic that I had on a tag in last month's printables, but then I decided to give you the graphic for yourself. This would be really nice as a page corner with your date and stuff inside it, or like some beautiful handwriting of the day of the week or anything. I left it blank so you guys could alter it however you wished. So there is page 1 for you. In page 2, we have a few of the little characters with the lines on them. These were a hit when I did them with, I did 7 days of them, so you basically got 7 days worth of these, but I didn't do 7 this time because I didn't want to overdo it. So we have this little monster here. We have some mini tags, and you'll see there's actually larger tags in the following pages. I also I had to fill a gap, and I love this guy so much. I am obsessed with him. Like, I want to put him on a pin. I've made a whole background because there was another outcry for that. The calendar image itself is a full page, and I'm going to actually cover one of my journals with that, or maybe even turn it into one of the acetate ones like last month. I actually haven't gotten to the printer yet because we've been super busy with family stuff, so mine aren't printed and on normal paper or anything like that. These is just on the cheap matte photo paper that I talked to you guys about from Kmart for the Aussies. And I love how bright they still are. So I've just got them on that, but I will go to the Officeworks and get all my prints and stuff because I like having them a little bit thinner, and if I'm going to cover a journal with it, I don't want it this thick cardstock. I want it as thinner paper. Now, if you're new here, you need to go all the way back. Actually, I might leave a link in the description box, and I'll show you the best way to print your collage sheets, or the best way I like to print them, and I feel like they get maximum brightness, which is how I actually create them, full of color and really vibrant, and the best way I found is the same way that Tisha taught me, and that was to print them on glossy photo paper and use those as your originals and take your originals to get photocopied, and that gives them the maximum brightness when you're photocopying. Now this looks stunning here, but when I went to photocopy them last month, let me see if I have any of them in my stack from last month, because I felt like my paper, the paper versions of them weren't as bright. Let's see. Let's see. So there's one of the, okay. So as you can see here, you can see that there's definitely a dullness when you're photocopying from here. I don't have that issue when photocopying off a photo gloss page. So they are true to color when I photocopy them on a glossy photo page. But here they're not, you can tell that they're not as deep and rich as they would be if I was photocopying them off the other. I don't know if it's because the ink on the photocopier was getting low or what, but I wasn't happy with how the matte photo paper copied, but I love how the matte photo paper looks, and I will actually cut these out as if they were my originals. But because I want to cover a book in them, I want my cover to be, I want my paper to be thin, so I don't want to try and wrap a big piece of matte photo paper around an insert. So that's just, I will leave the link below to the first video that I made showing you the difference in the quality and all that sort of stuff, but that is my preferred method so that you guys get the most. Some people don't do that. Some people just print them and cut them, and that's fine too. I'm just showing you how I print them to get them at max brightness, because I create my collage sheets with huge amounts of color. It is literally rainbow central when I do collage sheets, and I want them to be as bright as possible because they really do stand out in your journals. This girl was a video that I did recently showing like just having a creative play in my journal, transforming a background into this girl. And then this is actually a size down. I did a video talking about working in a passport size, and I'm showing the evolution of the process on the video tier, where I'm showing you basically from start to finish how I would alter and work in a passport size insert. And so that is actually the cover. Obviously I can't put the washi tape in my printable, I don't have the rights to it, so I've actually taken the border of your calendar and turned that into a digital washi tape so that I covered up this because I don't own it, it's not mine, and then I've added in a few little hand-drawn items just to give it a little bit more, you know, coolness. I added some of the leaves that were from the calendar as well. So there's that for you, and then I'm just a little sneak peek. So yeah, if you are interested in that, that is in the $15 tier, and there'll be a video on working on this very soon. But that is where that is from. I've got a couple little illustrations here. The little, like I was saying, I love this guy. I made a little cute September tab because I am obsessed with him and I needed to fill a gap. Gap filling is my life when it comes to collage sheets. So there's that page there. Then I've got some cute little zucchini and a carrot vegetable. I did nerd fruit ages and ages ago in my big sketchbook, and I get constantly asked about nerd fruit, if I'm ever going to bring them back, am I ever going to do anything with them, and I think I will. I just wanted to sort of test the waters and have a play, and I think because we are trying to do the low waste lifestyle and eating less things in less packaging, so my mind's constantly looking and thinking and cooking fresh food that don't have packaging. So I think that's why I had a few little veggies come out in my drawings this month. And I think they're really cute. I have this envisionment of illustrating like recipes, like my favorite recipes that I've gotten from my mum. So like some of my faves that my kids love and stuff, I thought about illustrating them in this sort of style for my own personal silliness, basically. If I was ever to hand down a recipe book to my daughter, I think I'd want to have it illustrated in this sort of style. My mum's currently working on the recipe book she's going to give me, filled with family recipes. So I thought, well, would I do that for my daughter and my son? And I think I would, and I think I'd make it a little bit more whimsical than my mum would. My mum's is all vintage. It's in a beautiful vintage book. It is stunning. I remember that book very, very well. I have a couple of heads, a couple of little filler images, 2 more of the little journaling spots. You can behead these, you can Frankenstein them. A lot of people aren't a big fan of the lines and stuff, so they behead them and put them onto other stuff, and it just makes my day when I see that sort of stuff. Also some tinier tabs. The other ones are bigger. So there's that. And minis, 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 minis. I have loved seeing your minis in your planners, which is the place I see them the most. And they always make me smile because I didn't realize how much we all needed minis in our life. Basically, minis are smaller versions of absolutely everything. And also the little Monday mantras and things like that. So the minis are here, and I also release them to the $5 tier as a bonus sheet each month. So you'll see that post go up with the minis later on today. But there are minis. There are also large tabs, and these are all filled with background pages that I have made recently for Monday mantras, or the background of a calendar image that I've always scanned them in bits, so I have working bits and pieces. This is one of your background sheets from last month with the sketchy circles, so you can see that there. There is just a plethora of tabs. And I actually printed mine onto photo sticker paper when I was test printing them to see how they go. And that's just, I would not use these on the outside of my journal. I don't know about you, but my journal gets beaten up. It gets thrown in my bag. It gets lugged around everywhere. You will never see a tab outside of my journal, maybe in my planner, but not outside of my journal. I am just too rough. There's no way a tab would survive. It would be an episode of Survivor. It would only get to episode 1, and then the series would have to finish because the tab would have ripped, broken, fallen off, or whatever. But I do love to use tabs in my journal spreads, in my tip-ins and stuff. These are ones I did for you guys way back. I did monthly tabs for you guys, and I see them constantly in your journal still to date. Over a year, 2 years later, I still see them. I know Miss Vicky B has one of her planners with them, and I always smile and think they really were loved. So I thought I'd go for a different style this time, although I do really love that little curved shape. I noticed that this style seems to be a bit more popular at the moment, so I thought I'd go with what was more mainstream and give you guys a plethora. I left them blank. I didn't label any of them because I didn't want to influence what you want to use them for. A lot of people are using them in their art journals. I've got a little black and white monster. These two guys make me laugh. I feel like he said a joke and he's just saying, oh my god, that's the worst joke you've ever told. They make me laugh. I don't know why, but these two, like, I put them together and I don't think I could separate them. I think I have separated them, but they look like they're a duo, like a comedy team. That's how I imagine them when I drew them. So a little bit of background filler for you guys. And then we have the days of the week for you. These are black and white tabs in large and small format for you to have a play. I thought it would be something different for you guys to use. I love using tabs, especially with days of the week on them. I like to attach them to tip-ins and things, which I might actually do a journal with me video using some of these supplies in a YouTube video. We'll see. And then I've got a few little legs because I did draw a new set of legs this month, and because I didn't have enough room for the legs to fit, I actually just made a dedicated leg page with previous month's legs for you to use in black and white. So that's coming up. There was a huge outcry for a blank calendar, and I made it super huge for you guys to use. So if you wanted to have a big calendar, they are blank, so you just need to put in your days, your numbers, and then you can put your month up the top there if you wish. If you wanted to, you could pull this up and print 2 to a page, which will give you an A5 version of these. If that is too hard and you would like an A5 version of this, let me know. I will make an A4 print with 2 calendars on 1 page if you would like, or if you'd like 4 calendars to 1 page, let me know. I'll make it happen. But I thought I'd just give you that. But the easiest way to do is to double click that file, open it up, press print, and you should, because it's a PDF, you should be able to pick how many copies per page in the print setting. If you have any trouble, I'll fix it, I'll work it out. But if you want A5 or smaller, I can make it happen. I'm pretty sure this will be one of the first things to go up in my Etsy store because I've had a lot of people ask me about this. So I'm glad everyone's really enjoying the calendar look. It was something different for me for the calendar. Maria actually asked me if I would be willing to do squares because she wanted to add things to my calendar, not just have it as a visual. So it's been very well received and I'm super glad because I was really worried about changing something that I'd done the same for almost 2 years. But sometimes change is good. This is what I'm talking about with the legs. So I did draw a pair of legs. I've given you a couple of copies. I've flipped them around so they're different. And then I've gone ahead and added some of the old school, oh, these weren't legs of that I drew. I actually chopped them off 2 characters to give you a page of legs to play with. They are black and white, but you can definitely add some marker over the top of these to color them. The originals were all pinks and purples, but I thought I really liked the idea of black and white stripes. So a page of legs, because I didn't have room for these, so I gave them their own page. And then one of my favorites of this month is I turned our little calendar creature into the numbers for this month, and oh my goodness, I am obsessed. One of my favorite things I've probably done to date. I want to use them on everything. I want to make him a pin. I'm just obsessed with this little guy. So he's got little love heart numbers. They go up to 30. Number 31 is here. And then you have a couple of blank ones just to have a play with. I've added tiny ones, so almost like a border tape. This is actually the calendar print, so you can use that as a border. These are some of the illustrations for this month in black and white for you to color yourself. I always try and include that as something, because I know sometimes you're not going to love the way I color something and you'd like to customize your own, especially with the girls and stuff. So they're there for you to color in. And then this one was a request, a giant page of an old sketchbook page that everyone loved. I'm not a huge fan of it. Then again, I'm not a huge fan of very much of my vintage stuff, but I'm always willing to give it to you because I know you guys appreciate it. So this is one of my sketchbooks pages that I had lying around, and I turned it into a large print for you guys to color in. This is the Monday mantra background that I created for you guys for this, well, not this month, for many months, but this is the one. And I always give you it as a big PD, as a big file. Like I say every month, one of my favorite things, the things I use the most. So there's a nice big background. You can cover your journal with it. Actually, that'd make a really good journal cover. I do have a B6 to cover, so you never know. And the last couple of things. This was also a request, actually, literally the other day. I released this with a watercolor background behind it. This was an Inktober picture that I did quite a few years ago now. And I layered this over a watercolor background, and it was an element way right at the beginning of Patreon. And someone asked if they could have it in black and white. So I obliged, I threw it into the scanner, and I've given you both images on the one sheet for you to color in or use. Actually, she'd look cute on a front cover of something too. This is what happens. I get caught up, but they're very sweet. I do love them. They're 2 of my favorite images. I always forget about them, but because they're in a journal, in a sketchbook that hasn't had heaps of love, a moleskin. But yeah, there's that for you to play with as well. And then the other outcry, this is what I meant by giving you guys so many things. They're not, like, in the scheme of things, I've given you 4 A4 pages, 5 A4 pages. So technically that's just like one element. So I'm not YOLO. This guy. I was asked if I could give him as a print on his own, and I for sure can because I am in love with him, and the amount of hours and time and line work that went into this calendar, I want you guys to plaster it on your walls, for goodness sake. I want it as your wallpapers. I want it everywhere. I'm actually considering framing it for my house as well because I quite love it, and I'm going to see how big I can blow it up to before it distorts because I'd like it bigger than A4. I actually like a really big one for my wall, so I have to see how that will print. But for now, I am happy giving him to you in A4, and I can see a lot of journal covers getting covered in this little guy. Where is my B6? My B6 isn't here, so I can't even, is that it there? Did I cover this? Have I covered this? No, that feels blank. That's right. This is one made by the lovely Brie from Documented Journey. This will be my new journal once I finish my beast. This is from Shannon. This would look very cute. Super cute. Maybe I'll do that. Oh, I love it. I love the journal. But as you can see, I will do this on a thinner sheet of paper. This is just too thick to wrap around my little journal. This is mixed media paper with Tomo River papers in between. And she told me that she double binded mine because she knows how much abuse it's going to get. But that's okay. I understand. I'm a wrecking ball when it comes to my journal insert. So I'm very glad that she told me that little tidbit, because she knows how much abuse my journals get. But I can't wait to jump into this little pocket rocket. But there, that is your collage sheets for September 2018. 14 sheets, something for everyone. I sound like a salesperson, but I am really excited about this month's collage sheets. There are a few things in there that I'm excited about, and I know if I'm excited about it, you'll be these. I'm just going to use them everywhere. You're going to get these numbers every month because I'm obsessed, and I love the tabs. I love the calendar. I love it all. I love it all. Tell me what your favorite thing is. I love to hear your thoughts and feelings on collage sheet day. Let me put a bright color. Let me put a bright one on the top, not just the boring calendar. So that is it. I'm going to upload this video. Your Dropbox files are down below if you do it through Dropbox. There's PNG files if you use them for digital purposes and you want the clear background. There's also PDFs. If you download it straight from Patreon, it's PDF only. So if you're looking for the PNG files to use, you will have to use the Dropbox links. Again, personal use only, please. If you are copying my stuff, please give me credit. If you're using something in your collage sheets, make sure you tag Inky at Patreon Tribe. That is how the other Inkies find you. That is how I find you. And there's quite a lot of tags on. There's quite a lot of posts on that tag. I'm pretty proud that our tag's actually getting used, like used as if it's a not. That sounds dumb. Used as if it's a proper tag. Like it's like a legit tag, like it's being used in the right way. I love it. I love seeing all the ways that you guys tag me in, but definitely personal use only. It's for your personal journals. But I say that every month. I think it's because the PNG files are clear images. You can just trace around it and move it into something and then sell it yourself. And I'm denied about doing PNG files for quite a long time, but digital planning and digital journaling is becoming bigger and bigger, especially with the iPad Pro and the Apple Pencil. So I wanted to make sure that I was very inclusive in that. So yeah. Just FYI, I know my Inkies are very well behaved. I haven't had too many instances where we've had hiccups. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you guys very soon. Cannot wait to see what you create. Bye!